welcome to WarThunder. I am Commander Tyrael, and thank you for joining me. The recent Winged Lions patch brought the US Air Tree a shiny new toy in the form of the F4J Phantom 2, the first aircraft in the tree to have true pulse Doppler capabilities. This in on itself is exciting to many players who have struggled with the Phantom's frustratingly sensitive radar. While this is a great change for some, the aircraft is basically an F4C with a slightly more powerful engine and much better avionics. If played in the style of an F4C, there is not much new to offer. The thing that really excited me was to hear that it would also be equipped with the first truly capable BVR missile in WarThunder, the Aim-7F. So I've basically rushed grinding this aircraft so I can show you where the meta of top tier is going to head. You can play this airframe as a true missile bus. So I'm going to show you one of my first games with the Aim7 Equipped, and also give you a little insight into the history of the missile itself. The Aim7F Sparrow is a medium-range air-to-air missile, intended to be used against hostile aircraft at beyond visual range, otherwise known as BVR. It features sweeping improvements over the previous models, and was developed based on combat experience with those missiles in the Vietnam War. It's not so much an improved Aim-7E as an otherwise completely unrelated weapon that just happens to look exactly like it. The Aim-7F's warhead, propulsion system, guidance, and even its internal layout are completely different from the previous model. It was originally to be named the Sparrow 3, but its title was shortened later to just Sparrow. The Sparrow missile had been used extensively during the Vietnam War, with literally hundreds launched, resulting in 55 confirmed kills, more than any other air-to-air weapon used in the war. While the probability of kill ratio of the Sparrow had been in the order of 80 to 90% during research and development, and 50 to 60% during operational testing, its overall result in actual combat was actually closer to 10%. Not only did the Sparrow's accuracy and homing intelligence prove to be lacking, but so too did its reliability and durability. F4 Phantom pilots began to desperately salvo all 4 of their Sparrows at single targets without ever scoring a hit, let alone a kill. And the overall ratio of Sparrow in some instances plummeted to as little as 5%. Development of the Aim7F formally began in 1972. Its work proceeded relatively quickly, with pre-production deliveries beginning in 1973. Development wasn't completed soon enough to participate in the Vietnam War, and production was initiated in 1975. The external appearance and composition of the Aim7F are almost indistinguishable from an Aim7E2. So many changes were made to the Aim7F that it's almost an original weapon. The completely new guidance system was installed, which was designed to make it more compatible with pulse Doppler radar systems, and the performance of all of the electronics in the Aim7F were improved as well, by replacing all circuit boards with solid-state electronics, a first for the Sparrow series of missile. These modifications drastically increased the reliability of the Sparrow. Further development led to an ever-increasing guidance performance. Just as important is that these electronics had significantly reduced the weight and volume, allowing for a larger warhead to be fitted. The previous Mark 38 rocket motor was replaced with a new dual thrust motor. The addition of this dual thrust motor not only greatly increased the range of the Aim7F, but it also its velocity. The new motor produced 3,497 kilos of thrust, compared to the previous 2,700 kilos of thrust. The new propulsion system created a dramatic improvement in flight performance for the Aim7F. While it didn't gain any speed over its contemporary the Aim7E, the sustainer phase allowed the Aim7F to retain thrust for a much longer period of time, thus its full speed even after major course adjustments. The result was not only a missile that reached the same range as the Aim7E2 sooner, but also boosted more than double the range from 70 kilometers versus 30 kilometers. Considered a dogfight Sparrow, the Aim7E2 was intended to be used at short ranges where the missile was travelling at high speeds and in the head-on aspect, making it much more useful in the visual engagements. Initial production models of the Aim-7F were armed with the same Mark 38 continuous rod warhead that the Aim-7 Charlie and Echo series were fitted with. Though later, the Aim-7F variants, the warhead section allowed for a larger and more powerful warhead to be fitted. Another notable change is the Aim-7F's warhead is mounted further forward than in previous missiles and is located in front of the guidance set. In WarThunder, it is the first reliably capable VVR missile that is a true threat to enemy aircraft. Previous versions of the missile have been unwieldy to use, terribly unreliable, or have been coupled with poor performing avionics. The introduction of the F4J and its advanced radar, when compared to its US contemporaries, the Aim-7F is guaranteed to dictate where the meta goes from this point, as players will be forced to learn hard lessons about air combat in a modern age. I've heard a few people say that the Aim-7E2 is the superior missile, and if you were to judge it purely by the stat cards, you might be correct. However, my favour and experience has shown that a long-burning missile is in fact the superior choice if wielded correctly. Up until this point, my favourite and most successful missile has been the Aim-9D and Aim-9C, found on the F-8 Crusaders and some other naval aircraft such as the Harrier. These missiles are superior due to their ability to sustain their energy through enemies' attempts to defeat them. If the enemy tries to evade too early, the Seeker has ample time to adjust course and the missile rebuild energy, while the Bandit has just worsened their situation by dumping speed. In addition, long-distance missiles tend to have large leads, heading where the aircraft will be, allowing them to sometimes ignore Bandit's countermeasures. When you make the step from pure dogfighting to BVR combat, your main priority goes from getting into a good gun solution to overall strategic positioning of your aircraft and accurate and proficient use of the avionics systems to make sure that you're using the correct weapon at the correct time. You should be trying to attempt to read the battle and direct your force projection where it's needed most. If you do get tangled into a dogfight in an aircraft that is fitted for BVR or pure missile combat, your ultimate objective should be to maneuver your aircraft into a position where it's optimal to launch an air-to-air missile. In the case of gunfighting, you're always trying to get your nose on target. In the case of missile combat, you're trying to anticipate the trajectory that would be best to launch a missile. In that previous case where you've just seen, I wasn't worried about getting my nose on target. I was worried about getting my nose to point where the target was going to be 10 seconds from now, and by ensuring that my weapons and radar are ready to go as soon as I have a solution. The way that top tier battles play out, it's impossible to fight this way if you're outnumbered. So when you're flying the F4J, your goal should be to set yourself up in a decent standby position to keep an eye on your allies and launch Fox 1 where they're needed. Once the main threats have been taken down, or any allies that are assisted, the battle will start to swing in your favour. It's at this point that you can commit and use your shorter range air-to-air missiles to put direct pressure on the remaining enemies with the support of your gunfighting allies. Now, most enemies will assume that you have guns, so if you always act like you do, you can intimidate a pilot into making a mistake that he shouldn't. So with that battle done, received 5 kills, 3 of them with Sparrows, 2 of them with Aim-9s. Now, there are some players out there that might think that this is removing the fun or the skill from the game, but I would argue that it is a completely different skill set to be able to manage your radar and avionics and to be able to actually read the entire battle space, rather than just concentrating on singular targets and air-to-air maneuvers. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to see further updates. Until the next transmission, Commander Tyrael, out.